morning.
Good morning.
How is everybody? Morning.
Huh,
Hey,
fine.
Bill.
Doing fine. Fine. Yeah, there's Bill. Yep.
All right. Everybody's got their long sleeve shirts on.
Not me.
Can't be
Short.
that cold.
It's gonna be in the 70s today here in tropical Nebraska.
Mark's going golfing.
No, probably not. I gotta get everything ready before next week's winter freeze, and get the farm buttoned up before the winter actually shows up. So that's my work today. So
Button
much
down the
fun.
hatches.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work.
doing the final mowing and putting the equipment away, putting all the tricklers on the batteries and stable in the gas tanks and all that stuff. So that's today's job. So
So much fun.
Sounds like
It
fun,
is.
Mark.
it is fun. It's a lot of fun. And don't you guys think it's not? Anyway, this is my best part of the day talking to you guys. And then after that, it goes all downhill because I got to go out and work. But anyway, today, yesterday, it was kind of interesting. The Dow was up, 1.19%. The S&P was up just a little under 0.25%, and the Nasdaq was down about 0.25%. So, what we're kind of seeing is yesterday was a value over growth day. You saw defensive and cyclical sectors leading the way, while the technology saw a kind of a pullback. So, kind of a shift in where money is going. You can see today we're kind of flattish, but flattish to up today. So when I looked at it, technology kind of went down. We'll take a look at the chart here. I'm going to do a little differently today. And when we look at kind of, you hear about rotation, and I'm not saying it's a total rotation, but we saw sectors move up and sectors move down. And here's semiconductor, okay, which has been really on a tear. And then we've kind of hit this bump here, and we're underneath the underneath the 9. We see this roll over where the resistance level is. You're seeing the MACD roll over. You're seeing the stochastic roll over. You're seeing momentum go down. Semiconductors. And then we look at technology sector, and again, kind of the same thing. Had this roll right by the the intermediate resistance level. We're seeing the same thing. Down in this area, it's still bouncing off the 50. We're under the 9, but bouncing off the 20 here. So again, when you start looking at it, I was looking yesterday, Google came out and said they're investing $5 billion in a new German data center. And Microsoft's going to do $10 billion in a data center in Portugal. And then you see that, the valuations, that was the talk for a while. The valuations, these AI stocks is high, and for most cases it is. And now you're starting to hear about hyperscaler bonds. And what hyperscaler bonds is, and Trent had talked about this before, these companies are no longer just using their cash to go out and invest. They're using debt, okay, to the tune of, $100 billion this year. And I saw a statistic that these hyperscaler, these Mag 7s who are going out and building data centers and racing through the AI race, they're spending 68% of their free cash flow in 25 on these investments, and next year in 26 they're going to spend 80%. So we're seeing something different, that they're actually taking out debt, and lots of debt, to go out and build out these centers and build out their AI platforms. And again, along with their high valuations, and then you start seeing the debt that they have, which they haven't had before. You kind of have to look at these Mag 7s in a different way now, as opposed to, cash generators to cash spenders and debtors now. Let me see what else I got here. So when you look at what sectors, were good yesterday, you look at EXLV, of course, which was healthcare. You're seeing money move to healthcare, and Lilly was the main reason. They had obesity drug news, energy, higher oil prices. Money went yesterday consumer staples, which is defensive, okay, and then also real estate. And so when you look at XLV and healthcare, you look at Lilly was the cause of that, okay. So Lily's, flying up the Bollinger Band. It would have been a nice trade, that swing trade right here to get in, and wouldn't necessarily chase this myself. But what I would go look at is I'd go look in the healthcare sector and see where there might be something that's following on the coattails of Lilly, and maybe like an Abbott. Abbott's been down, and here you might have a swing. You're looking at the oscillators come up, potential swing. It would be under the 200. So again, would I chase Lilly when I can go maybe get a swing? Probably not. DHR. It's in the healthcare sector. Coming back a little bit over the 9, I'd have to wait for a full candle above, and I'd want to wait for confirmation on the MACD. Okay, I would go to maybe RMD. Look at RMD. RMD's above the 9. I'd wait for it to get back above that 200. You can see there, and it might become investable. Here we almost have a crossover on the MACD. If we get that crossover, kind of a confirmation bounce back off that 200, you might have an opportunity on RMD. So you can look at the healthcare sector. You don't have to chase a Lilly, but you can find others within that. Merck. Okay, so this is how you find opportunities. Look at Merck. Merck still has a little bit of room to go. I wouldn't buy it outside the Bollinger. I don't do that. But we're above the 200, above the 50. You see the 20 and the 9 moving up. Oscillators, the MACD just crossed. Maybe I'd try to come back in and ride this healthcare, back in this area, get in at, at a better price. If I was going to do that, following my trading plan. ALGN, another one. Okay, you may want to look at. It's been flat forever. Maybe it's catching a little bid. You're looking down here, catch a little bit on this healthcare rise. So again, I'd rather find a swing and roll up and go chase something that's already taken off, because of the news. OGN, okay, this one's had a little trouble, had earnings, did well, had a little trouble getting past that 20. The oscillators are looking good except for the MAC or the RSI went down a tad. I'd wait for that, see if this get above the 20 and catch a little bid. But that's how I would go look for some of these. If I was, going to get into the healthcare, I would go look into those type of companies. And with that, I'm going to go into just kind of showing you how sectors and money rotates. So there you are in healthcare. So healthcare, real estate, look at real estate, XLRE, money went into real estate. Okay, but it's right up on resistance. Money went into XLP, which is the consumer staples defensive. You can see we've crossed over, came down, hit support, crossover on the oscillators here. So you can go into the XLP. You can maybe swing trade the XLP. Watch out for the 200. In the 50. You got some sell orders right above it, or go into the index itself and look at some of the stocks that are in there. See if you can find some that we just found, like in the healthcare, and find something that you might be able to get a swing in. So that's how you go find these kind of stocks to get your swing trade. You look at what's hot and you come back in and you find these stocks that might give you an opportunity for a good swing trade. And then XLE, energy prices. This one, I wouldn't be chasing the XLE outside the Bollinger Band, but I'd go back in. Maybe there's some energy stocks. Go look at ExxonMobil, go look at Phillips, Conoco, and all those stocks, and see which ones might actually be potential swing trade. So if we look at what happened yesterday in the market, DIA, okay, had a nice run up on the Dow, right up to resistance. We've done this before, okay. Still need a catalyst to get it past. Difference is we got a little bit of a crossover here on the MACD, and we saw that kind of happen yesterday too on the stochastic, and we've got some nice momentum. So we'll see if that can push past, but until it gets past that resistance, it was a nice day, but we're still hitting our head right at the top where we had it before. SPY. Again, right on resistance. That's about where we're going to open, right at resistance. Did get above the 9. Looks like we're going to get a crossover. We had one yesterday on stochastic on this SPY. And then, of course, the Qs. Qs down a little bit, just underneath the 9, but up against resistance still. And we don't have the crossover. As you see here on the MACD, we do have a little crossover on stochastic, but no confirmation on the MACD for the Qs. Gold just sitting, came up a little bit. We're going to open about where we closed, have some sell orders right above there, and got resistance a little higher right along the flat and parallel moving Bollinger Bands. The interesting thing is you've had this nice crossover and race up of the stochastic, and now you're going to have a crossover of the MACD, it looks like. So watch that, see if that'll propel gold higher, up to this resistance level. Silver, same type of thing on silver, had this nice crossover, getting a crossover on the MACD, but we're right up to where sell orders are and where resistance is too. So it's going to have to get past that level, but you have a little bit of room on the upside on silver. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just trying to get back up above that 105 level. We're at 10. Well, we are at 105, just barely over it right now. Again, trying to get these crossovers. We're seeing the MACD coming back. Try to get over that signal line, crossover on the stochastic. But again, kind of sideways after we've come down. We've hit kind of a nice level of support right here, and was trying to get more momentum. And now we're above the 9. We'll see if that can keep going and get this 9 to turn around and start moving up. We'll see on Bitcoin, but it's still hanging around. It's wicked down below the 100. But here we go. Look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is still sitting under the 9. We still have downward trending moving averages. We bounced off the support level once, tried it again. We're going to open up just about at the same level where we closed. Need to get a lot of momentum here in MicroStrategy. We're only at 33. We hadn't been across the MACD since the 10th of October. Look at the IBIT. Remember, I was watching the IBIT to see if it would maintain above the 200. We want to see a bounce and roll, but it didn't. Failed on the 200. MACD is still not crossed. So again, I'd stay out of this one as an investment or a trade at this moment. So I'm going to keep watching it. So you got the 9 coming down to the 200. We'll see if it crosses over or it starts to make the turn for IBIT. But right now, I like my position on IBIT on this line here, and we'll see if we get back in it on that line there too. Right now, not so much. NVIDIA comes up. NVIDIA had a down day yesterday. Of course, you had SoftBank selling out their entire position on NVIDIA. And it kind of took the whole tech sector by surprise and down a little bit. You do have this negative crossover on the MACD. So again, the 9 has come up in that roll. And, we've seen the price action below the 9. You got to wait to see more confirmation on this MACD. But the good thing is we did have a little crossover on stochastic. But again, this 50 has been a nice level of support for NVIDIA so far. But right now, we'll see what happens. Meta. Oops, let's do the real one. Meta. So with Meta, pull this back over to the center here. Meta's just right along this support line, and that's where we're going to open. I like these kind of setups. I don't like that it's under the 200, but if it can come down, you get this 9 to come down and do that swing like we see it go when it goes up to the resistance level and swings down. You might catch a nice swing trade. We're starting to see a turnaround on the stochastic, and we don't have a crossover yet on the MACD. But if this comes around, we might get into a swing position on Meta. We can get in, maybe pull up the swing. Of course, you're going to have resistance at the 200 when it hits. And then if it gets over the 200, backtracks it and comes back up, you might have it be back in a Meta investment. Right now, we're out of it as an investment because we're below the 200, and we're out of it as a swing. But we might get both here, just kind of like what we got in Berkshire Hathaway. Microsoft, kind of flattish, if I remember. Yeah, we're still going right along this level of resistance. We've done this where resistance was up here, and we've rolled over, and resistance moved down. And now you've got the negative crossover, of the 9 over the 50 and the 20. But we have some positive price action, but it just hasn't gotten over that 9 yet. We'll see. And again, you look at the oscillators, we have crossover and stochastic, but not on the MACD yet. Still above the 200 though. Google, above the 200. Kind of hit this resistance level, about 7-8 days ago. We got this 9 coming up. See if it's going to do one of these. We're starting to see a little bit of, watch this histogram. Starting to see it come down a little bit, the signal line or the MACD line over the signal line. You're still up here, some people consider this overbought, but you can go a long time, along this level. You can see we have, had a dip here, but we've done it pretty well. So anyway, again, nothing, something's got to get it past that resistance level. Apple. Same thing, Apple's up against resistance. Got the 9 actually kind of curving a little bit over. Got a crossover on the MACD. We'll see if it catches a little more of a bid. Looks like it had a good day yesterday, but right up to resistance. But the oscillators have turned around a little bit. But what's going to get it past that level? You know, Apple. Amazon. Same thing, right up on resistance. That's where we're going to open again. You know, you have a little more room, you know, here, but if you get past resistance, the 9 still coming up. You're seeing a little bit of crossover, but coming back on the stochastic. Sometimes you get these outside the Bollinger, it comes back in, catches a little support on the 9 and pops up. You could go up and see, you know, get past that, wake up to where the sell orders are, or if some news comes out, it could take off. But right now we're kind of stalled here. We'll see if we get a little bid and move up, but we're going to open about right where we closed, it looks like. Amazon, Tesla again. Here's where Elon bought in, and we just kind of been, you draw that box right around here. We're just staying within that box right along resistance. The 9, you know, we're below the 9, came up, come back down. You're seeing the oscillators, the MACD's going down, the stochastics going down. You want those going the other direction. So again, we might see a little more downward movement on Tesla, but it has a nice support level here at the 50, which is right where the Bollinger Band, lower Bollinger Band is. Palantir. You know, I just want to see something take off so you can, you know, grab onto it and roll, you know, kind of like you saw in healthcare, but we're not seeing it in technology. Palantir made a run up to earnings, then back down, and now we're back up to resistance. You know, it's nice that we have a stochastic rollover up to the side, but we still don't have a confirmation on the MACD, and we're right back at resistance on Palantir. And then Netflix. Netflix has come back up. Okay, so this is one that went under the 200. Now we've closed above the 200. You see that the 20 came down and is rolling right along the 200. We'll see if this can come up and get a close above the 200 and maybe get us back into an investment. Right now, you know, it could possibly a swing trade. Okay, if you get over that 200 and keep rolling, you have some room to go. Got some sell orders up here at 1167.50. So you're in a swing in a transition between the under to 200 level swing and to a regular swing trade. But you know, you like these to come down and start rolling up. So this might be something you want to watch both for a swing trade and or an investment if you can get above that 200, you know, and do the old par of Tudor Jones. But you see, you got a nice oscillator movement, you know, moving to the up. So you got the momentum, and we'll see what happens today. And if we can get above that 200 and keep rolling, but you know, you got a swing going potentially, and potentially an investment on NVIDIA. When we look at our watch list, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett came out with his last letter, his Thanksgiving letter, still bouncing off that 200. So, you know, that's a good sign. It hasn't come back down. Doesn't mean it's not going to. We've wicked down to it 3 days in a row. That's about where, you know, we put in for an investment. We'll see if it holds. If it doesn't hold, you know, we're out as an investment. You had a nice swing right here up to the 200. Okay, so you could be in a swing or an investment at this point. We're up about, you know, since it hit the 200, about 0.35% on that one. FDX had some downgrades yesterday, dropped it down to the 9, and then it came back out and it zoomed right back up. You can see this nice channel on FedEx. So, you know, if you use the trading guidelines, you know, you're just going between the 9, and you're going between the upper Bollinger. And that's where you've been bouncing. So you've had opportunities to get in lower, and it went higher. But, you know, it had this red candle because of analyst. And then yesterday it took off again. But you got resistance right above it on FDX. So be careful there. ORLY, this has been a nice one. Again, we came down 200, popped up. So you're looking at a nice swing. You know, we put it on the list right here. Nice swing up. You're above the 200. So an investable kind of trade. You got crossovers here. You know, and right here is the crossover, you know, right above the 200. Nice swing on that. O'Reilly is up about 3.61% since we put it on the list at this level here. ALGT, Legion kind of bouncing between the 9 and the And the Bollinger Band, again, I don't like this one as much. I don't like airlines as much. Now we have a negative crossover here. So not something I really want to get into. You still have the airport situation going on. And so, it is above the 200. So maybe an investable kind of trade. But right now in a swing, it just doesn't have the momentum that I like to see. And you can see that in the RSI. It's just heading down. So leave that one alone. AKAM, these are the ones we talked about. Had a nice run. I don't like getting it outside the Bollinger Band, but it made it above the 200. So this may be an investable one you like. I'd like to get a better price on it. But again, it's above the 200. Let's go back and see how long it's been below. Got a little bit above there. So, you got to kind of watch this. You got resistance here. And, we haven't been above it, substantially. So be careful. We haven't been above it substantially for a long time, and it's still heading in the downward direction. We like to see that start rolling the other direction, but that just takes time, 200 days, average of 200 days, but it is above the 200. And, this over. Let's look at Trent's Bank. If it'll come up. Regency Financial or Regions Financial. And it's
People are going to
nice,
start believing I own this bank.
nice. Well, it is your bank. It's the bank you bank at. But a nice little run right along the Bollinger Band still. Okay. Oscillators still look fairly decent on here. And you got a little room up to the 200. So that's Trent's Bank. And then we'll look at some of the under the 200s we had. Phil Morris. Nice run on Philip Morris. These are what you want, the swings, and you roll them up. Got some resistance at the 50 if you were in. May want to put in, might get out at that point or see if you can hit it and roll past it to where the sell orders are. But a nice run. If you're in this, make sure you put your stops in, keep your profits rolling. We're up about 3.16% since we put this on the list. AMCR. I don't know why it's disappearing on me. AMCR still a nice roll too. Above the 9, got above the 50, and it's nice rolling right along the upper Bollinger Band. I don't mind being on the Bollinger Band. I just don't want to be outside the Bollinger Band. So again, I got some sell orders at about 863 AMCR, up about 1.08%. CL, we're talking about some of these defensive stocks. You can see CL came down, touched right off that right off support, which is done 3 times, and that's a good entry level. If you'd been able to enter at that point, you'd be up about just under 2%. Got to get past this 50 though. If they get past that 50, we get them on, keep rolling on that Bollinger Band, and we have some sell orders at 80, 91. But I like these that start up. You're looking at the oscillators, tell you, all systems are still good, but we got to get past that 50. These resistance levels are ones that not only we look at, but the institutions and their trading machines look at too. Dole, talked about this one. Dole going up, hit resistance, and now it just did a nice hammer. Kind of went back down, came back up, but Dole, had a nice swing. It's not much on the reward side right now, more on the risk side on Dole. And let's see what else we have. Oh, a couple of earnings that were out there. Yeah, okay. LO, I think it's a power generation. It's going to open that earnings report 20 cents a share negative. It's going to open up right about where it closed a little bit on that one. What else do we have? We had HSAI. This is a Kerry stock. Had earnings. We're going to open up. We went right down to 200 and bounced, so that's a good sign that it didn't get past that. We're still fighting it. Going to open up a little bit higher on there, but watch how you have resistance right here. You've seen we've been kind of in that pattern. So nice that it's going to have a bounce up inside the Bollinger Band and above the 200 on that one. Sony had earnings yesterday, big company. And you can see where it's going to open up. It's going to jump up here, right where it's been before. Okay, it's interesting how that works, but that's chartists and technicians and logarithms. They look backward to the left, and it's where they see support and resistance levels, and that's why I like to buy. When I buy or put in a buy order and I try to get a better price, I always look back and see a line where it might be a good place to put in a buy. And what's the CoreWeave? CoreWeave. CoreWeave had earnings. negative 22, down outside the Bollinger Band. Looks like we're going to be opening up right on the Bollinger Band. Again, the oscillators don't look good. This one might provide us with a good swing at some point. It's just not there yet, but we'll be watching this one. Markets have a small memory, and sometimes we'll catch that bid back up. But chart's telling us right now, stay out of it, and we'll see what happens. We want to get this 9 rolling back down and coming back up, and see that momentum going up, but we don't even see it. We don't even see it on the RSI. We're at 27.
Did you see the interview with the CEO of CoreWeave and Jim Cramer?
No, I did not.
Yeah, Jim went after him.
What did he say?
Yeah, just talking about the earnings weren't as good as the CEO sort of indicated, that they were missing some implementation with some of their different data center contracts. Just it was sort of a different side of Kramer that I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's usually very positive on everybody.
He is. But he sort of brought up some really good points about sort of this AI expansion. But if you can, I saw it on Twitter, you can probably pick it up just on YouTube or something like that. But it was definitely, I was sort of like, wow, okay, calling it out. But we'll see.
That's good. And, you need to
Yeah.
do that and ask those questions. I watched Fast Money halftime report yesterday. They had a whole section on this hyperscaling bonds and on these Mag 7s and how much they're actually taking out in debt, and how you might
Yeah.
have to look at them differently, because you cannot look at a company the same way as you did the Mag 7s, where they're pulling in all this cash and not having to borrow anything. And now they're borrowing.
Right.
So you have to put that in your head that now they have debt.
Well, one thing I was learning about yesterday was how they are depreciating equipment. A lot of these GPUs last a year to 2 years, but they're depreciating this equipment out beyond that, so 3 to 5 years, and so it skews their books. And so when Meta depreciates say servers and GPUs and all that other stuff out over 5 years, the lifespan of that product most times is a year to 2 years. So they're actually sort of doing some funny accounting. And I think it was Michael Burry pointed out that I think it was Meta has overstated their earnings by 29%
Yeah, I saw
because of
that.
this practice. Which this is where you talk about fundamentals. This is like getting really deep into their fundamentals, which I find is that makes you a better investor, makes you turn over the leaves a little deeper.
Yeah.
I
It was
think
interesting.
I
I
said
saw that.
or
Go ahead.
watches the program.
What's that?
I think I said before last Friday that Kramer gets some of his ideas from Kerry, and now I think he gets some of his ideas from Mark and Trent.
Oh, I hope not.
You got a member there that's he's in there under some fictitious name. We'll have to research that.
Maybe his name's Zeke.
No,
No,
No.
I don't want
no.
anything.
That was pretty quick. No,
I don't want anything to do with Jim Kramer. I'm
I
sorry.
don't really either, Zeke. But anyway, couple things I saw real quick. ICE. Somebody looked at ICE. This is kind of like these patterns on ICE. ICE is Intercontinental Exchange, not the federal law enforcement agency. So, don't throw mud on me or anything. So here is a support level. The 9 came down. I'd like to see this pop back up, but the oscillators have moved. You just got to be careful. Here's your resistance level at 157, and we closed at 158 or 152 basically. So you got about $5 to that resistance level. Still have to get past this 20. You can see we've had a little trouble on the 20 before when we got above the 9. So again, go back and look at it, and then you follow your trading plan. But I like the way that I like these swing times up. I wish that was a little bit higher, but it's not. But I mean, there's some opportunity in some ICE. I think, what was the other one? QXO. I think somebody wanted. Oh, look at that. This is nice because of the 200. Okay, so this is a day off the 200. You do have resistance up here, but if you can get that almost as an investable, look at those nice oscillators. So this one I want to go back and take a look at. Oh, look at that. Whew, wow. Okay, let's go back a little further. This has been out of the 200. Wow.
What do
That's
they
2
do?
years. That's 2 years, man. It kind of went under right here in 2024, July of 2024. So it's interesting that, let's go back and see how long it stays. Well, here we got in at December of 2023 and got out about July of 2024. And we haven't really been there since until today or yesterday. Let's go back to this. So, watch that. That may be a little bit of an investment there on that one. Something happened. It's still negative in earnings, but interesting. Even as a swing, you got resistance up here, and you got the 50. So you got what's your reward to your risk. But as an investment, I'd watch that. Maybe that's something that's investable. What do you think, Trent?
Well, first of all, what do they do? Is publicly traded distributor of roofing, waterproofing, and complementary building products in the United States. It plans to become a tech-enabled in the building products distribution industry and generate oversized value for shareholders. The company was founded in October of 22, is headquartered in Greenwich, Connecticut. So they're in the industrial side of things, it looks like. I think Bob can talk to that. He's spoken to that, tone of what's happening in industry. So I don't know. It's definitely flatlined.
Yeah.
Maybe they brought out that big pin they jumpstart your heart with when they, but I don't know. Maybe this is what would be interesting is there any tie to some of this infrastructure build out in data centers and that kind of thing? I don't know. Those
Yeah,
are
I don't know.
companies that we don't talk a lot about,
Right. Thanks
They
for bringing
had,
that up. Someone brought it up on
yeah,
the chat.
Jay said they had good Q3 earnings report.
Okay.
So it's a spinoff of XPO,
Okay.
according to Julie. What is XPO?
So you said it has to do with roofing, huh?
Yeah, they distributor of roofing, waterproofing, and complementary building products in the United States.
Oh, I know why it went up there, because I had to have my roof replaced on both my barn and my house for this
There it is.
last
They're
3 years
funding
twice.
You're
Twice.
funding their growth.
I am.
So
So that's
Julie said it was a spinoff of XPO, and XPO engages in provisions of freight transportation services. It operates through the North American less than truckload and European transport segments.
okay.
That's interesting combination there
It certainly
of
is.
companies. Yeah. Something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for an investment style.
Yeah.
Open door, Paul said we had crazy volume. It's like the last 3 days, but we do have resistance right here. We've had that before. I'm going to go back 6 months and see what we looking at here. Yeah, look at that. So, I'd watch out for resistance. Sell orders right above that. So we've done this before on open door. Doesn't mean it can't roll past that, but again, that's why we use technicals to help us decide what we're going to do. But yeah, a little bit of volume in there too. All right, Trent, I think
Yeah,
I'm going
so
to you now, buddy.
I'm really apprehensive of actually speaking in this tone because usually it bites me in the butt. But I think we're starting to see some possibilities of bullish activity in going into the end of the year. So this is the S&P 500, just to review where we're at. This is SPY, the ETF for the S&P 500. And market makers are basically positioning their hedging positions on a positive gamma or a positive bullish bear fight. So they're on the bullish side of things. So what they do is they suppress volatility. And you've seen that in the VIX here recently has fallen below 19 and is below 18 today at 17, 19 as of pre-market. And so we saw that drop in on Friday, but a recovery at the end of the day. A lot of that has to do with volatility controlled fund or vol funds. They uh, counterbalance risk or volatility in portfolios typically used by insurance companies, pension funds, and hedge funds. So you saw a recovery at the end of Friday, pop on Monday, and then a pop a bit yesterday. Up basically a quarter of a percent higher. It looks to open up at well, just right out almost $2, just $2 and $1.90 higher today. But really the next level of resistance here is 690 and then 700. So that's interesting. So we're got some bullish movement here and some potential bullish momentum. DIA, as I keep referring to it as Denver International Airport, but that's not it. It's the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF. We hit resistance yesterday around 480 on that. Our bull bear fight line is 472.50, and our big support is at 470. If we can see a move past 480 or close above 480, 482 is the next level, the highest level of resistance. So, and remember, this is 30 stocks. This is not the S&P 500 of 500 and the NASDAQ 100 of 100 stocks. This is 30 companies, a little bit more diversified and possibly more of a diversification within its overall, but it is a market cap weighted company or index. So you do get that skew based on market capitalization of the underlying companies. Qs, the triple Qs, this is the NASDAQ 100 ETF. We sit at the bull bear fight line, the gamma flip line. It's at 621. We got resistance at 630, and then again at 650, and then support at 615, and big level of support at 600. We saw Friday where it came down there, it hit it, rebounded later in the day, made a jump on Monday higher, and then was pretty much it was down down 0.27% yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see. And remember, the Qs are pretty much all tech driven. So it gives you a barometer of this AI narrative, this technology narrative we've been nursing for the last 3 years. And my question is that narrative starting to end in the long run? IWM is that Russell 2000 ETF. This is a small mid-cap index. As I've spoken about, this is the most credit risk index. These companies are a little higher risk, more if they issued bonds, they'd be more in the triple B and below, so high yield junk, as Michael Milken sort of named it, the junk bonds. He was the junk bond king of the 80s. Look him up. It's a very interesting story. But you have it's above its bull bear fight line at 243. It's got big support at 240, but it's got some upside potential at 250 and 255. So there's a little bit more upside versus downside in the difference between support and resistance. So possible pop there would be nice, but looks to open at 244.79 today. So you're still right at that neutral zone when it comes to that bull bear fight situation. I thought this was interesting yesterday. NVIDIA, I put in the Discord in my office just a message about how these lines, these resistance and support lines adjusted mid-morning yesterday when I flipped open my chart around 11 o'clock Central. And yesterday morning, we had a 200, the highest level of call wall was at 200, and it readjusted down to 195. And then your bull bear fight line moved, it was 179, if I remember right, to 187.50. So market, NVIDIA fought this line all day, closed right at it at 193.16, got as high as 195.42, but failed. Today it looks to open at 195.53. So I'm curious to see if NVIDIA is going to actually break through this level and see these risk levels or this hedging adjust. And could we start to see some blue sky for NVIDIA? Or is this more of a failure? Is it going to fail here and we see a push down lower towards this bull bear fight line at 187? And if we break through that, will we accelerate through 185 down to this secondary level of support at 175? This to me is very interesting because this is back here in October 10th. This was Trump's 100% or 100% tariff tweet or announcement on China. You did get it as high on that day as 185.62, but it failed. And of course, if the market fell in that day. So I'm curious to see if NVIDIA, the largest holding in S&P 500 and the Qs, represents a lot of, Monday, I think Mark, you pointed out, it represent 25% of the movement in the S&P 500 on that day. Well, is it in a distribution out? Are we going to see institutions move out of NVIDIA because of risk, valuations, that kind of thing? Or are we going to see a push higher? Only time will tell, but it's something I'm very curious to see, and I'm very keeping an eye on these resistance levels going forward. One of the things why I'm saying a little concerned about saying this, being more bullish, is that this is a chart of the blackout period during earnings seasons. And right now, as you can see back here, and starting in September 12th, peaking out here around October 10th, these companies can't buy back their own stock during earnings seasons. And so in October, we saw a pullback in the S&P, more volatility in the S&P. But now only 5.6% of S&P 500 stocks are in a blackout period, which could be considered a bullish tone, because as these companies can, come back and buy their own stock back, that shrinks supply, creates sort of maybe a false demand for that stock, and you possibly see these stocks going higher. So as we exit earnings season, there's a good chance we're going to see more potential bullish upside overall. But really, I think this is where I was thinking about this today, and I did a TikTok video, and I'll post it on YouTube, about this wall of worry. In the last, say, 3-4 months, we have heard more negativity coming out about AI and the AI story, and questioning how they're financing this. And so in the when you hear this, the term wall of worry, historically, the market sort of climbs that wall of worry until it doesn't. And I feel like we're starting to see the tone of the narrative change from a positive, it's all AI, companies are going to convert, they're going to become more profitable, they're going to unfortunately lay people off because they'll replace people's jobs. But now we're starting to see a tone of, we saw it with the interview with Sam Altman on forget the guy's podcast, but he's actually a shareholder. His company's a shareholder of OpenAI, and he asked Sam Altman about their pledge. They're basically saying they're going to spend 1.5 trillion in over the next 5-10 years on build out of AI, yet they generate 13 billion. And Sam Altman's remark was, well, if you want to sell your shares, I can find a buyer for you. And he was very defensive. He stated that they were more on the track of doing about 20 billion. He sort of explained that whole spend, that some of it would be fronted by the investors that are already involved in it, but 700 or 750 to a trillion of it, 750 billion to a trillion of it still would have to be, the money has to come somewhere. It was interesting. I saw a comparison between his remarks, and I forget the guy's name. Mark may help me out here, but Eric, not Schmidt, not Eric Schmidt. That was a Google guy, but Eric Schilling, the CEO of Enron.
Oh, Skilling.
And when he was questioned back in the late 90s about Enron and not producing a balance sheet or P&Ls, he responded in a similar way, and it just sort of was like, huh, these guys are getting hammered right now and being questioned about all of this. Is that a behavioral sign of maybe they're like, oh, these people are figuring this out? So something to take into account. I do think though, I mean, I've said S&P 500 or S&P 500 at 7,000 by year's end. I still think that can happen, but it's this wall of worry is starting to develop, and oftentimes you see the markets climb that wall of worry until they don't. So just be aware, be risk management.
Do you have
Um,
that you have that chart available for the market breadth under the 200, under the 50? Be interesting to see
yeah,
that one. We
yeah,
didn't look at it yesterday, I don't think. So I just kind of want to see
yeah,
where we are on that.
yeah. Um, oh boy.
Yeah, somewhere.
Did it
Uh,
disappear?
There's VIX.
Oh, let's
There's the
see.
VIX.
Give me a second, I'll build it out.
Okay. Okay.
I know I
I'll
have
do
it.
that. So we got Spruck says he's still in silver calls and watching to add. So yeah, probably. I mean, silver's been kind of on a roll here, a run. Let me take a look here. Silver. Looked at it before. Yeah, coming up a little bit of resistance up here, kind of parallel Bollinger Bands, but nice crossover. Looks like here on the MACD on silver. Uh, so again, we had that nice run. This was the debankment, or not debankment trade, the debasement trade of the dollar, and you saw that run up of this in gold. And you can't run up forever, and you end up, you got to take a little breather and some profits, but it came down, could have kept going, but it rolled back up above the 9 and the 20. And then we've seen the crossover. Looks like today. Let's see if it is. Oh, it's right even right now. I'll see if it crosses over on the MACD, but again, sell orders right above it. And then you got the intermediate resistance level here. We still have kind of converging Bollinger Bands, but we'll see. A little bit of a run up, but we'll see where it ends up. But you have calls on it, so that's good.
All right. I've got it.
Got it? All
I
right,
built it out.
let me get out of
Yeah.
here.
All right. Let's see here. All right, so this is the percentage of stocks above the 20, the 50, and the 200. Had a pop the last 2 days on the 20 up 48%, rounded 49% of stocks are above the 20-day. 44% are above the 50-day. And we saw a bump up from what was that, Friday? We were at 53% of stocks were above the 200. Today there's 55. So we're starting to see more stocks above that. But remember, the 200 is your basement. This is your foundation, long term of stocks. Above the 250 is sort of that indicator of midterm, and then short term, more of that 20. But if you go back here to August, we are still declining overall. If we just drew a line like that, we're, I don't know, right there. So we're right at that edge where if we saw a breakout in stocks over 20, we'd possibly see that would pull a lot of these stocks in the, below the or above the 50 and the 200 as well, higher. So it's a good short-term indicator. The 50 continues. We see that continue to decline. We just need to break that trend for more of a bullish move. And outside events that could make that happen. U.S. government opens back up. That money starts to get back in people's checking accounts and starts to move through the system and cause spending to increase. Events like that, NVIDIA's earnings could be a catalyst alone, could be part of that. So just keep an eye on the trends there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Market breadth is key. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's all I got. Anyone else have anything? Troy, you got anything today? Troy's looking like he's looking at his charts. you're on mute, but you don't have to talk if you don't want to. But you look
No,
like you're looking at something.
I'm good. You know what I've been looking into lately, Mark, is more the power play on AI. I'm kind of shifting my attention towards power infrastructure and trying to find a few companies. I noticed Kerry seems to be kind of doing the same thing lately as well.
So you got anything in mind that we can look at?
I was gonna put it on the Discord yesterday. I can't remember which one it was. Let me see. I thought I had it written down.
We can take a look at it real quick.
Let me see.
You're right, though. Power is going to be interesting. You don't have power, you're not going to have these data centers.
Yep.
I got one built right down, probably 10 miles from me. It's on the city's electric grid, not on mine. I'm on a public power district grid out where I'm at. So be interesting to see if electric bills go up for the residents of the city.
Mark, they're ETR. This is the company out of Louisiana that's contracted with Meta to build out a power plant for that Meta data center.
Yeah. Trent, I was looking into that. I tracked it. I was like thinking I might be a little late to the game. That's Entergy. It's actually my power company
Really?
here.
Okay.
But they've increased about 28% so far, and that's a good bit of gain for it's a standard utility company, But
Yeah.
Kind of hit a plateau there for a while on that resistance line. Yeah.
yeah. What about OKLO?
They just had their earnings come out. Yeah, their earnings come out. Looks like it's negative 20 cents per share. They're going to open up right down here a little bit. So yeah, it had a nice run, OKLO. But you look at the MACD, and it's just been down since about the 20th of October. So if you could wait on this one a little bit, still is above the 200, so that's good.
Troy, do they have any deals they're doing with sort of this data center development going on? Do you know of?
Well, yeah, they're building two gas turbine plants just for that. Now that's up in Monroe. I live in South Louisiana, but
Okay.
there's also going to be a Hut 8 data center closer to where I live, and Entergy's going to supply power to it as well. But that data center is going to be in West Feliciana Parish. We call them parishes here in Louisiana, and Entergy's going to supply power to them as well. But Entergy already has a nuclear power plant in St. Francisville, Louisiana. So if you look at St. Francisville, Louisiana, it's the perfect place for a data center. It's rural. It's got the Mississippi River very close for water, and Entergy has a nuclear power plant there as well. So, but I've been looking at ways to capitalize on some of that infrastructure play, but I feel like I've been a little late to the game on some of it, because we should, as soon as I heard, it was about a year ago, I heard Meta was going to be building that data center in North Louisiana. I mean, all you got to do is find out who the power company is and invest in them, right? Immediately. Because once the news really hit and it started catching traction, you could see they're 28% up this year. So, I mean, looking at that chart, what do you think, Mark? I mean, I see I guess you call them the stochastics seem to be turning upward.
It is, except I got this resistance line we've been on since the 6th of October. We just can't get past it. Even with the earnings, it didn't really get past it, and had a little bit of a wick up to sell order. So, I'd wait till we get a little more momentum, and stochastic is up, but we haven't seen the MACD. This is kind of strange crossover yet. but I have to get past that line there. It's just a strong line of resistance. And something has to be the catalyst to do it, whether it's a press release or they're going to power this or power that, or, you know, I was looking at their dividend. It's not very much. Well, let's.
Okay, I also looked into an ETF. This is the one I was going to put on the Discord. Defiance AI and Power Infrastructure. It's AIPO ETF. I was considering maybe just going that route to capture some of this.
So what's in this one?
brand
Is
new
it
ETF.
what companies are in this one that you know? Did you dig into it a little bit? See what's the engine?
I did not.
Okay.
So I
Well,
don't
maybe-
know what it's loaded with. I should.
Trent, can you do a quick AI on that and see maybe? You got your
Yeah,
AI up?
I
AIPO. Yeah.
a I think one of the things to consider with these energy companies is somebody pointed out on Kerry's call last week about the length of time it takes to build these centers out,
Right.
which means
I got the list.
Okay, what is it?
It's Quanta Services at 8%, Eaton
Does it-
Corp about 7, Vertiv Holdings, GE, Vernova, Nvidia's in there,
Yeah, they're all just kind of
Constellation
sideways.
Energy, Broadcom, Bloom Energy, Versa, VISTRA Corp at 2%. So those are about 50% of the holdings out of 56.
Okay.
so it really
Okay.
isn't a true energy play.
Yeah, it doesn't
No.
look like it.
Well,
Yeah.
let me run this real fast. The holdings breakout: industrials 54%, utilities 18, technology
Yeah.
16, energy 7, real estate 2, communication 1, financials 0.8. There
Okay.
you go.
So not a lot of utilities, 18% you saw. Well, that's probably the power portion, right? I would imagine.
You know, energy again 6%, utilities
Oh,
at
6.
18, energy at 6. I don't know if you consider utilities and energy the same. And industrials, that's so ambiguous.
There, David's got the top 10 in the chat over here too. Brian's got some power, PWR, ETN, VRT, GEV, CEG are mentioned in tickers and ETF. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Right.
Yep. Dominion Virginia Power owns the nuclear power plant at Lake Anna. Data centers going in all around it with a ton more planned. Is Dominion a Virginia Power? Is that a publicly traded company or is that a? Yes, it's public. Do you have this? What's the stock symbol on that? D. Oh, okay. Let's take a look. There we go. All right, let's take a look. At D, he says it's a lot of data centers going around this area. Dominion Energy, again, right on this. It's just been, he said, guys have just been hitting this sideways. Let's go back to year to date. Take a look. Well, I don't know why it's doing that. Let's go 1 year. 1 year. Yeah, we just kind of be going between the 50 and the resistance here. But yeah, they've had kind of a nice run a little bit. Got above the 200. That's nice. Came down, bounced off of it, came back up. That would have been a nice one there too. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
I
do
don't
you
know.
guys think about on that energy play? Is, obviously it went up on the news, right? So we got the news. They announced a build out of a couple of plants to supply the data center. It's a giant data center. Could you expect, I guess, within maybe when those plants come online and they start showing extra profit from sales to the data center, which could be, I'm thinking 3 years out. Is that when you
Yeah.
would see
I
profits?
I look at this one in particular, and this is a headline news event. Um, Meta contracts with Energen, stock takes off. No money has flowed over to them from Meta. But from a longer standpoint, when these data centers do come online, yeah, that's when these guys are going to start getting paid. So if you look at the chart from more of a weekly or monthly standpoint, you can see where possible retracement to the support level would be. And maybe a better opportunity to enter. But to me, that energy data center development relationship, is more down the road, and accumulating stocks, shares at a cheaper price with the idea that 3 to 5 years down the road, this is going to be way better off, price wise. But I think a lot of what you're seeing is, it's like OpenAI's building one in Abilene, Texas, and I don't know who the connection of um, power will be, but I suspect if it's a publicly traded company, it's probably had a pop here recently. And but long term, it would probably be a better opportunity for a pullback. And then as that data center comes online, those revenues start to hit those energy companies. Um, so
What do you think
somewhat that's a
about
way to look at it.
what do you think about
Mhm.
going back a little further on that and say, because we have a data center, like I said, the Lincoln Electric system is going to power that. Lincoln Electric system is run on natural gas and coal. So I'm worried about their capacity. If they have a capacity, they're going to have to buy more coal and more natural gas at that power plant to do that. So
And
I
that
would go back and look at the coal and the natural gas too.
Yeah. Well, and the other side of it is, where is the best place to build a facility? And I honestly think Louisiana is one of the better because you do have the natural gas and you have water, which is two elements that these data centers really demand a lot of. Abilene, Texas, I was there this summer, and there's not a lot of water around town, and it's a pretty dry area. They do probably have a lot of natural gas, but I don't know. It's that probably is a factor in figuring out, how are these, is that energy company actually going to be more profitable based on, on, you know, your area's got coal. I mean, that they're coal and what'd you say, natural gas. They probably have a lot of natural gas availability, but how about water? How about that kind of element? So I don't know. As you go through that breakdown of a company and analyzing it, some of those things you take into account.
Robert
Yeah, the
says,
contractor cost in Louisiana is fairly low too. I mean, we already have oil and gas down here, so there's a contracting builders and construction is affordable down here because it's competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Interesting.
guess this company powers them down in Brazil. Somebody put in the data centers down in Brazil. Somebody put AXAI or AXIA. I don't know anything about it, but it's an energy company down in Brazil, it appears to be. So
Hmm.
that's had some nice run up there too.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting that in. Robert says they got two data centers totally 100% complete in Santa Clara, but they have no electricity. That's out of California. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I would imagine that. I mean, here where I'm at in the Midwest, we have the Oklahoma Aquifer, which is a big, underwater resource. It runs under the Midwest here. And it's so weird because if you're a farmer or rancher, you want to put a well out, you got to jump through all these hoops because you don't want to drain the aquifer. But 15 miles down the road, they build this big ass data center. It's going to suck a ton of it out of there, I don't
Yeah.
get it.
Somebody explained to me that once the way they have to fill the cooling system, but once they fill it, it's a loop. And so once it's filled, they don't really have to constantly fill it at the capacity they did when they first started. So that may be one way of
It's basically a virtual closed loop in regard to the water. Once they've got it, you don't have to add that much back because they're going through and filtering it, recycling it, sending it right back to where it was. So it's essentially, for all intents and purposes, other than minor filling up for evaporation, that sort of stuff, it's a closed loop.
This is
So once
Peabody
they-
Energy. This is coal.
Okay.
Interesting. Thanks for putting
Yeah.
that in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the fun thing about this is
There's natural
for
gas.
the
Look at
last
that.
3 years. Yeah.
That's
Last 3
starting to get
years,
swing.
it's been about AI, it's been about chips, data center now. Now it's when we're starting to see maybe that sector change to energy and infrastructure and just industry kind of thing. So something to keep an eye on. Part of this development. So
Yeah, I think thanks for everybody in the chat, bringing up all these companies that we can all look at. That's what we're here for is, you guys live in different parts of the world and country, and you got different aspects and different views of things that we don't have insight to. So it's really helpful for everybody. So appreciate it.
look at SU.
SU, okay.
We'll make that the last one, but
All right.
that's Sucor Energy.
Temple, Texas, population 70,000, data center going up.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
Where?
Yep.
Huh.
So this is going to power it. Suncor. The Suncor,
I don't know.
is that a
Suncor is-
solar company?
Well, it's actually a oil sands company, but they're converting over to clean energy too.
Okay.
And I was just looking at the chart. If you look at it, of course, it's gone up. It's going up pretty well, but it also looks like it might have been a swing trading candidate because it just
Yeah, no
the
kidding.
last year it just went up and down and up and down and up and down.
I like this 200 here. It keeps it come down to it, but it doesn't go below it. That's kind of a nice trend, for an investor, and then, but yeah, it looks like it's coming. You're out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It came back in. You don't end up out that much more than 5 times in that Bollinger Band. So I'll be watching this to see if it pulls over and this 9 can roll up there, and we can catch some more momentum on that. But you got a crossover here, but still nice movement on the MACD. So yeah, well, that would have been a good one. Yeah, right after earnings.
I know.
$1.34. Yeah. Nice, but I really like this pattern where it hits the 200 and doesn't go under it. Since June of 25, that's hit it. Once it got above it, it's hit it a couple times there, and then took off. So nice. Thank you for that chart with that stock.
No problem.
Yeah.
I like energy companies because they have a good financial backbone, right? Utilities,
Got it.
Yeah,
they probably won't go
dividends.
bankrupt anytime soon, right?
When they have dividends too, those utilities. Yep. Okay. Sweet. What a nice discussion today. We really appreciate everybody.
Yes. Thank you very much. So we'll be back here tomorrow. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow after morning. So I was going to do a Q&A on troubleshooting. Anybody had that in the afternoon, but very interesting. My dentist threw out 4 appointments, 2 yesterday, and then 2 today. And I'm like, you never have a spot open that isn't less than a month away. And he goes, well, yeah, things are changing. So it gives you a little idea of where people are spending and not spending their money. So I was gonna depending on the state of my condition on tomorrow after my dentist appointment, I will do a late afternoon Q&A on just people who are having trouble with getting into Discord or on the website, and then just sort of a Q&A about how to use the website and Discord as well. So I'll keep you up to date. It may be a late day kind of thing, but I want to do that because I'm getting a lot of questions about getting into the Discord, how to start using the things we have. So I'll keep you up to date, but I will see the
How
state of
do
my
we
mouth
access that meeting?
tomorrow.
How do we
What's
access
that?
that meeting? How do you access that meeting? Is it, you can advertise it or email or what?
Yeah, I'll send out an email. It'd probably be better if I just did it maybe Saturday morning kind of thing. There'd be more people could jump on it. But I was hoping to do it tomorrow, but I need to go to see the dentist and take care of take care of a situation.
That's good.
So
Health is very important.
it is. As I'm aging, I'm realizing that. So
No, that
Does
doesn't
it have to,
happen.
does it have to do with your teeth or your dentures?
you know, more to do with my ears.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a little freaked out about it, but anyhow,
you don't have tinnitus,
so
do you?
I have no idea what I got. I got something. My
Yeah,
my
that's not
wife would
fun.
say I got something going on, but I don't think it's
Yeah,
that.
he's
but
got
So we'll
greenitis.
see.
that's a
So I'm gonna
decades
take
old line.
I'm gonna so I'm gonna take care of that, but I hope to be able to host it. It would be it would be a after 12 email that would go out announcing it. So
I would
it'll
just
be a
do it
late
later, Trent, because there's so many things could
Yeah,
happen, and not try to rush,
Yeah.
especially if you've got some work to do on your teeth. That could hurt.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
yeah,
we'll see.
and we kind of would love to have 24 hours notice.
That'd be
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So
I mean, because
but I am wanting to host that because I think it would help out a lot for people. So we'll go from there. I'll keep you up to date. Thank you.
One little thing, if you guys don't mind. This is
Sure.
for Matt. Yeah, last time you said I should contact you because I really wanted to get finished with my Chase. No, not Chase. My Fidelity retirement stuff. As I told you last time. So you said I should contact you back. So should I text you when? Should I contact you in the Discord?
Yeah.
When you have it. Okay.
Go to my office, Mark's
Okay.
office in the Discord.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. No
Yeah.
problem.
I need a
Yeah, no
little bit of help to finalize that. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you guys for the contribution. So empowering. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark,
Yep.
just something kind of off topic with what you said you have to do today.
Yeah.
3 different things if you want to jot it down. Are you familiar with ethanol shield?
Yeah.
Okay, because that does, from what I'm seeing, better than stable of all things, because you'd mentioned using it today. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with YouTube and Project Farm?
No.
Yeah, jot that down. He does tests on a number of different things that he uses in and around the farm and that sort of stuff. He does so much better than Consumer Reports ever would on
Okay.
that sort of stuff. And the other is a lawn kind of I won't call it lawn equipment. They do heavy duty equipment too down in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Her channel is called Chickanic, Chickanic.
Okay. Okay.
And she's
I'll
been
check those out.
yeah, she's been doing her stuff for a number of years. She does mainly the smaller stuff that you'd use around a farm or home, but she is now, when they have the Hardscape Expo in Louisiana or in Louisville, she's actually got the companies, Husqvarna and a few others, that have invited her there, and she does various
Seminars.
and things for them. So she's moved from just showing people what not to do to actually, Husqvarna has improved some of their products based on some of her videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that. Yeah. I have a Husqvarna mower, so.
Yeah. She primarily is an Echo dealer.
Right.
And Echo's even improved their stuff by sending information out to her and saying, okay, what have you seen? What's happened in real world, and how can we improve our product?
Okay. Appreciate that. I'll check those out.
No, you're welcome. But the ethanol shield might serve you better than Paul Harvey's stable.
Yeah. Okay. I
Okay.
usually run my equipment every other week in the winter anyway, just to roll it through. So anyway, all right, guys.
Got it.
Thanks
All
a
right.
lot, Steve. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no, well,
Right.
you. Thank you.
See, we're not
We'll
only a
talk to you-
financial channel, we're an agriculture channel now too.
You got
There
that
you
right.
go.
It's Mark Harvey.
That's yeah. There you go.
All right, we'll talk to you all
We all
later.
miss Paul
Have a
Harvey.
great
Yep.
have a great afternoon
loud.
or morning and afternoon.
Yep.
Take care, and we
Thanks.
will see you later.
Hey guys.
Take
Live
good care.
loud.
See you tomorrow.
Peace.